World champions from different cue sport disciplines. And it's the Pearl all set to initiate things. A race to 5. We're in the round robin stages here, day 1.
Well, as our viewers have been told, this match is huge for Earl. He lost his first match, and you have to wonder if maybe these great champions, having seen the storm of the championship rounds last year, he might not have just forgotten to set his sails for the calm of these preliminaries.
Well, also very interesting as well to everybody. I mean, they caught those pre-match interviews, and Earl putting no pressure whatsoever. He feels like he's struggling a bit, and Mark Williams doesn't give himself much of a chance. We all know how competitive Mark Williams is, so how dangerous is an animal when it comes out with nothing to lose.
Yeah, that was a bit of pre-match bluster on both parts. Quite a deal of psychology involved in this game.
And not a very good shot from Strickland there. He's kind of halfway between the devil and the deep blue sea with that positional effort, so a little tougher 4-ball than he would have liked.
Down at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the balls that are left on the table. As the balls disappear from the table, they'll also disappear from the bottom of your screen, so it's very, very easy to keep up with the task ahead.
Choice here for Earl now. He's got the angle, and he's drawn over the other side of the 7. You can see the 8, the opposite end of the table, so he's going to have to play position from that to the 9. And really doesn't look like any problems here, Jerry. This is going to be Strickland 1-0.
No, you can believe Earl is going to put everything out now. He dumped that match earlier. He's the current world champion. He wants to put in a good showing all the way through the week.
See it at the bottom? You can just get it with your finger, I think.
Looks like he's asking for a ball to be cleaned, the 8 ball.
Yeah, this is where Earl has learned a little bit, even I think watching the snooker players. He takes a little more time. This is vital, this match, already having dropped the opener. He can't afford to lose this one.
Everyone is playing in a group of 8. Earl Strickland has taken on a first beat and now leads
1-0. What an effort from Mark Williams there. Couldn't have asked it to be any better.
That a very friendly reaction of the balls. And Earl's going to come to the table with a toughie. He's going to have to pull out the jump cue or kick off of that left side rail.
He may just be able to get over the edge of that too with his normal cue. It wouldn't surprise me to see him raise the back end. He doesn't really believe in the jump cue to Strickland.
No, he doesn't. He believes that it's kind of gimmicky. But here he is with his playing cue. And Earl is a great jump shot player. Oh, not this time.
Ball in hand.
Well, this is the chance Mark Williams was looking for, and the good safety may have bought him the opportunity. Everything in the open here. You can see the missed attempt from Strickland. And he is a suffering man right now. We already said he dropped his opener. Never easy to come here and defend.
Mark's done a great job of setting up the 1 ball for this next shot. This is critical. He's got to get down on that 2 ball in line with the position on the 2 that will carry him through to the 6 and then the 8. Boy, he's done a great job there. This guy's got a lot of control for a snooker player on a new table.
Well, the most difficult aspect is coming from a snooker table to a pool table. You're so used to getting close to your work in a snooker situation. And Jerry, on a pool table, you're only ever going to be 9 feet away. You don't have to be that close to your work.
No, and you want a totally different position play, no straight in shots.
Nice open shot at the 8 here, and a good positional shot to the 9.
There he is. He did not get the position he wanted on that 9 ball. He's going to have to nip this ball. And Jim, you can appreciate the trouble that a snooker player might be having here. You played a lot of professional snooker. Quite an adjustment.
Like comparing badminton and tennis. And Mark Williams squares things up in Cardiff now 1-1. On-the-job training is what this all boils down to. Earl can get through to this too. That was a little bit of a mistake from Mark Williams, but how costly it's going to prove, only time will tell.
Earl trying to hide the cue ball actually behind this wall of balls down here. He did not accomplish that task. And I believe that Mark's got a full shot here.
You wouldn't expect Mark to miss anything in the open, but the cue ball control, that's going to be the key to success in 9-ball.
Yeah, but he's got a bit of a problem coming up. The 9-ball is going to collide with his cue ball. He's got to be able to control that. Might be a bit hard with his lack of experience on this table.
He's done that well.
Shoot, that's beautiful.
And the perfect angle to drop right over the other side of the table for the 5. This is just the sort of start that Mark Williams was looking for. Keep Strickland in his chair, try and pinch one against the serve.
That's so big because it's much easier to protect a lead when you're alternating breaks than it is to come from behind.
Nice angle on the 6 to just drop on the 7 above it.
Well, he didn't come up short on that one. He's a very quick student.
You see Nigel Reese having a real good look. He just wanted to make sure he wasn't feathering that 9 with his shirt sleeve. And again, he's overrun position. A much more difficult ball than Mark would have been liked.
Yeah, he's got to take a moment to throw that frustration out of him. Has to approach the shot with confidence. Got to know you can make them. There you go.
You saw him stand up and readdress that 8, Jerry. That's experience, that's composure. And he might not be giving away to too many players in this tournament in that department. A very happy crowd here in Cardiff. 2-1, their champion in front of Earl Strickland.
He's in trouble here, Jim. He's got to make a little bit of a trick shot to get down on that 7 without the 9-ball jumping in his way.
That's the problem, Jerry. For him to try and draw down to where he has to draw to, he's got to try and avoid that 9. He's got to clear it.
Oh,
and
I don't think
he
so.
hasn't. That was the problem with the poor positional shot that led to the 5. He ended up digging himself a hole. And now he's got to come up with a little Strickland magic.
Huge shot here. It looks like he thinks he can just clip the side of that 7. If he can, he'll be fine. He can send the cue ball 2 to 3 rails and be all the way down table by the 8 while the 7 remains about where it is. But I'm surprised he can clip it.
He may try and bank this straight up the table. And that's not a good shot. He is not hitting the ball with any conviction at all. And right now you're seeing a man surrounded by confusion in Earl Strickland. His form has deserted him.
He hit that with half the power he needed to get that 7 ball up on the rail, and he hit it in the wrong direction. And now Mark Williams has missed an open pot. In his defense, he was bridging over the 9 ball.
Huge let off for the Pearl, though, and he knows it.
All Earl needs is a couple of good shots to get under his belt, to give him his confidence back. But he does have to get a couple of good shots in.
Well,
this won't do it.
And Jerry, we really can't stress enough. In these short races, the pressure is intense. The players barely get a chance to settle into the match, and it can be over. Perfect position to the 9 for Strickland. He's weathered the storm in this one. Back to 2 racks apiece in the race to 5.
Well, Mark sure doesn't like the way it's looking for him.
And Mark, a quick look just to see about banking that 1 up towards the 9. That would be fraught with danger. That's what he attempted.
If he can get behind that ball. No, he has not.
Took a flyer at the 9 there, and I think his smile tells us that was a gamble.
Could be a gamble that pays off if Earl happens to miss this open pot. No such luck, and what a great position play on the 2-ball from Strickland.
Difficult to tell what angle he has on the 2, but we know he's bridging right over the 8, and that's not going to make life any easier for Earl Strickland right now. Position to the 3 really holds the key.
If he can bring the rear end of his cue stick up enough to send the cue ball out to stop when it hits the 6 ball, he'll have great shape on the 3, but what a risk that's taking if he gets behind that 6.
What a shot from Strickland there. Jacked right up over that 8 ball. That looked precarious even from the commentator's box.
Tough shot. Now Earl really has his work done. If he just doesn't relax too much, he should be able to clear this table.
Well, the hard work anyway. I think you might see Earl looking at a 6-9 combination, Jerry. If he leaves himself an angle on the 5 to get back over the right-hand side of the table as we look, watch for that 6-9. He's having a quick look at it just to see where he wants to be. He's thinking 3 shots ahead now.
Indeed, that's what he is studying, and it looks like he has settled on trying a combination on that 6 ball.
Guaranteed now. As soon as he left the cue ball there, it's easy to get that white back the right-hand side of the table for the 6-9. And the other option, if he decides to race it around the angles, off the 4 cushions and play the 6 bottom right as we look.
That's what he's done. He's going to go ahead and take this table out 1 ball at a time. He'd like to have a little more angle here. He's going to have to punch this ball to get down table for the 7.
I like that shot a little better. I'm a bit of a Strickland fan, I have to admit, and that showed a little bit more confidence, less desperation.
Oh, I do like the choice of the run out for sure. Look at the way he spins that ball off a cushion. Nobody does it better. English has always been Earl's strongest point. He spins the ball more than any other player that I can name.
Now, does this 8 go? A feather contact on the 8 would get the 9, but if the 8 goes, that's surely the simpler way.
Oh, he really had to play a shot there, Jim, to keep that 9 in position. He knew the 9 was going to be moved by the 8 ball. And Earl Strickland now has a lead 3-2 in a race to 5. It's time for Mark Williams to dig down deep and try and come back on Earl.
Mistakes have been punished in this match. A terrific one to open accounts here in this year's World 9-Ball Championships. But a couple open pots that normally you'd expect players to get. And they have been so costly. 3-2, the lead Earl Strickland currently enjoys, but Mark Williams will be welcomed to the table in rack number 6.
Here's some of our pool terms. English is side spin. Draw is known as bottom spin here in the UK. We call it a rail, you call it a cushion. Follow is top spin. Kick means to hit the cushion before you hit the object ball. And when you hook a man, it means you've snookered him behind an intervening ball.
The 2 deposited off the break now. Rack number 6 of a possible 9. And Mark Williams is looking at a long, tricky one.
What a tough shot to have to begin this rack with. He knows if he turns the table over, it could very quickly be 4-2. What a great shot. This guy, does he have nerves?
But this is what you'd expect. Williams, a terrific long ball player on a 6x12 surface. Why would you expect him to miss something when he's only looking at 9 feet?
Yeah, but what an opening shot that was.
What a reply Mark has come up with here. You know he's been putting in some time preparing for this. He's got a tremendous amount of pride.
Here's where he's had some trouble in the past. He's come up long or short. And this time he's got to bridge around the 9 ball. It shouldn't give him too much trouble. Needs to be center table for this shot.
Now be able to run that cue ball around the angles, back down for the 8. The crowd like it.
Mark Williams is in such great form. Jim, this is going to bring us to a race to 2 between 2 world champions.
We've got 6 racks in the books here in Cardiff, and there is nothing to choose from these 2 world champions. Mark Williams 3, Earl Strickland 3. Earl is going to be kicking at this off the long cushion now. The only chance, and he's got to hit this. Well, he's going the near cushion. Much tougher hit. But greater rewards. He knocks the 1 in, and look at the position on the 2. What a turnaround there.
Could boost your spirits when something you weren't attempting works for you.
Just when Mark Williams thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Well, right now he still has a problem on that 6 ball. He either has to play a 6-7 combination or move the cue ball all the way back down to this end of the table. Play the 6 in the corner far away.
This is a big match for Earl Strickland. We talked about it earlier. He dropped his opening one 5-4. And he can ill afford to go 0-2 to open things up in defense of his world title.
Jim, I'm not sure he's got the angle on this ball to get all the way down table to play the 6 in a pocket by itself. Earl's great at spinning the ball, but he's got to get to a rail to do that.
Well, the only option, Jerry, and it's very risky, if he tries to draw back off this cushion and spin the cue ball back down in behind the 6 into this area, but again, that's very risky. He's going to go for the combination.
Now, of course, he's got to make not only the combination, but he's got to develop that 6 ball into a shot after the combination. He's not going to be happy with that effort at all, Jim. He made the 7, but he didn't develop the 6.
Not ideally, but it's still there. And Jerry, you've already talked about how well Earl spins that cue ball. I wonder if he's going to try and knock this in and draw that cue ball off the side cushion and spin it. He's got to miss the side pocket, or is he going around the 9?
All the way around the 9. What a great shot from Earl Strickland. A sign of a true world champion to be able to control that cue ball as beautifully as he just did.
And more importantly, a sign of confidence. And confidence breeds courage. Earl Strickland, 4-3 in front right now. The long 1, position not a formality. And that was the reason you see the 1 missed. He was thinking so much about getting that cue ball back down for the 2. And has he left the 1 on?
Well, it's barely on. You can see he misses the 1 ball. It comes off the nose of the pocket, and he's left Earl a really, really tough shot here. It wouldn't surprise me to see Earl choose to duck here or to go for the bank shot in the side, Jim. That could be a 2-way shot. No.
I think he's got a glorious opportunity here now, Jerry. Everything in the open. 5 onto the 6. But he just wants to get that cue ball back into a similar area that it is right now. And now he's got the angle to take the cue ball right over the left-hand cushion and try and drop right in behind the 5. That was a funny shot for me, Jerry. He had the perfect angle there. Again, just a little non-committal from Strickland. If he was going to play the 5-6 combination, he had ample room to overhit this.
You have to wonder if it's not just the pressure seething through their sticks, because you're right, that's not at all the Earl that we know to come up with that position play.
Now he's got to play the 5 onto the 6 and think about the cue ball as well.
Has to clear the 9 ball. I believe he succeeded very, very well. Nope, pretty close.
And it looks like he's got a little angle on this 7.
That's what he needed. He needed to just slide by that 7 ball, as you saw. Had to miss the 7 to make a good shot, and now he's got angle to pull the cue ball over to the other side of the table for the 8 ball and the clean finish.
It hasn't been the most convincing of performances. Strickland's needed a few mistakes from Mark Williams, but it never ever says how, just who. And Earl Strickland survives a scare from the reigning world snooker champion. 5-3, he slots his first win